So, welcome to Introduction to Computing. I'm Dr. Ujjwal Vishwas, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, NIT Manipur, India. Our today's topic is file handling using C. Now, in file handling, there are few things to remember. Is the first of all, whenever this operation should be done in C programming, the first step is to open operation on the file. Uh, the second step is file must be closed once the operation is done of the file. Now, the third is the address of the file is stored in a pointer which is called this file star. This is a data type of the file pointer. Now, if we say uh, the file star is the file pointer to represent a pointer to a file. The another method which is called this fopen is used to open a file. It returns a pointer to the file if successfully opened the file, else it returns null values. If we consider the very simple segment of the code, we have written here file star fptr is the name of the file pointer variable. Now, for storing the file name, we have create a character array file name, and we have initialized file2.dat is the file name which we are going to open. Now, fptr contains the file pointer. This fopen is the method through which we pass the file name and the mode of the operation into the file. If the file pointer null, that means there are error in file creation, and that is shown here like this error in the file creation. Now, if we check, sometimes error checking means we want emergency exit from the program, and we want it to stop this date of the program. In main, we can use return to stop it. In function, we can use exit. Exit is a library function where this library file stdlib.h is the header file for exit function. Now, if you consider that this file star fptr is the file pointer, now this we have already discussed this file name. This is a character array where we store the file name, and fptr um, is the initialization of the open file. This fopen is the function name, and it has two parameters, which is the file name, comma, the operation on the file, which should be done uh, as a W, that is write mode. And if fptr is equal to null, it will display this error and it should terminate the program. Now, this is the example of use of this exit function. Now, the second important part of the file handling program is the fopen is the mode in which we open the file. The R indicates the opens a file for reading. W it's the creates a file for writing and writes over all previous contents. That means it deletes the file. So be careful during the use of this write mode file operation. And A indicates opens a file for appending, or it generally writes on the file end of the file. It start appending from the end of the file. Now these three are the very basic operation: read, write, and appending modes of the operation in fopen function. Now it is also important to closing a file, and that is done with the function name which is called this fclose. Uh, we have already observed and demonstrated that this fptr is the file pointer and fopen is the file open method which has this operation mode which is the opening of the file pointer which is fopen. Now if it is null, that means this opening is not complete, which means this cannot open the file and it should execute or the terminate the file. And if it is open, then definitely it access the file, and after accessing, maybe it is appending to the file or writing to the file. As this is a writing mode, so it replaces the previous file content and it will write in the file hello world of feeling. Now this is the fptr. It is the closing of the file. This indicates the closing of the file. So opening, access for operations, and closing file are the three key steps in file handling in C. Now writing to a file using fprintf. This fprintf is a printf function. We have already demonstrated what is the function of a printf. This fprintf f indicates the file printf, which helps to printing values into a file. So works just like a printf and sprintf, except that its first argument is a file pointer. If you check the difference between printf and fprintf, is the file pointer that indicates this f indicates this file, and this fprintf function. Now if we check another example for reading a data using a fscanf from the file. If we consider this is a input.dat file and there is a two values, and that can be opened with a reading mode, and after opening it is possible to scan the value into the variable x and y. Here example written like this. Now this reading lines from a file using fgets. So fgets is a read a string using a fgets function. Now fgets takes three arguments. A string, first argument should be a string, and a maximum number of characters to read, and a file pointer. Here this fpt here. So read line percentage and comma line. So it reads, and if it returns null if there is an error such as end of file. So the next is the three special iOS streams which are important for taking input, displaying input, and some error message. Here std in reads the input from the keyboard, std out sends output to the screen, and printer errors to an error device like stderr. And what might this do? A printf function is the std out is the file pointer, and uh, std out output to the screen, and hello world is the screen. Now, if you check whether a matrix is symmetric or not with the help of a file handling program, this is a very simple example of 2D matrix operation where these matrices are stored in a matrix.txt file, and it should be opened, and with the help of fscanf it is possible to scan the value from the file pointer, which is ft here, and storing these values from from the from the matrix.txt file, and after scanning this, it will store all these values into the matrix. That is one important matrix access from a text file. Now this one is the example of, after this there should be some check whether this is a symmetric or not. That symmetry checking is done with the help of this code. After the reading of this code or the reading of these values, if we store this, and if we use these all values from the file, after that if we check the symmetry, that can be done. This is the very simple example of this file handling uh, problem. Now, thank you.